great has Xabi Alonso been for those types of guys, right?
Yes.
How great has he been the way he's handled Vinicius Jr.? Also recognising the importance of all of those players being happy around Kylian Mbappé. If you keep them all happy, Real Madrid are going to be a real dangerous team this year.
9 goals this season and an unbeaten record. Some of those games were very close, particularly in the Champions League against Marseille. That was a real competition, but 6 games in La Liga, 6 victories, 1 game in the Champions League, 1 victory. It is a brilliant start for Xabi Alonso, who probably needed to get some results to justify that process. I guess my question would be, coming out of this, is Real Madrid now 6 wins from 6, 18 points at the top of La Liga. Is this perhaps a bit easier than you might have expected for Xabi Alonso in this transition process?
Yeah, it's starting to look that way. Certainly the way that they're performing tactically, the way they're set up is what you would expect from Xabi Alonso. Incredibly well organised, disciplined. There's a great deal of youth. The average age of the 11 that went out there was 24 years old. So a lot of new faces and young faces have come into the starting 11, and he's rotated somewhat as well. But I do think that he has made it look easier. For all of us out there, going to a club like Real Madrid, you would think it would be so much pressure. It would be difficult. If you don't get off to a great start, you're going to feel that pressure even more from the media, from your own supporters. You have to perform in a specific way, and he's kind of making it look easy so far. Very impressed with what he's done. Only the second manager to obviously win his first 6 La Liga games as a new boss in charge of Real Madrid after Luxemburgo back in 2005. That's quite the statement right there. And Luxemburgo went on to win 7 consecutive games, which I think Xabi Alonso has a real opportunity of doing. And right now he's taking La Liga very seriously. He's taking every game seriously, but La Liga in particular, I'm sensing that they want to win that title. He knows he needs to win a title. Domestically, you want to try and be crowned champions once again. We all know that the Champions League is what Real Madrid are really after, but I think he's just making it look so easy right now. And of course, with the tools at his disposal, the players that he has on that roster, it's absolutely insane, and he's making it look pretty easy so far.
And you mentioned the players that brought off the bench in this game. Absolutely incredible. But one of the things I think that stands out about their performance is how good they've been defensively. It's not just that they're not giving away goals, it's that they're not even really giving away chances. They allowed so many last year. But you see here, Jude Bellingham coming back to full fitness, comes off the bench and plays in this game. Rodrigo coming on as well. So many options.
Look at that 11, and you talk about the back line, okay? I mean, obviously Garcia at times playing as a left fullback, Carreras playing as a centre-back alongside Huijsen, and I do think Asensio also at 22 years old. You got to look at the ages, okay? I mean, Garcia's like 26. I understand he's got a bit more experience than everybody else. Carreras 22, Huijsen 20, 22-year-old Asensio. I mean, this is a young back line that's been put into the forefront, but when you've got players that are just so talented, and at many times world-class players, you don't necessarily have to worry about defending too much. You just give the ball to your teammates and allow you to go score goals, because what they did do offensively today is what impressed me most.
And it's so different too, because they used to buy the finished article, top players at the top of their game from other teams.
Yeah.
Now they have to go buy younger and develop, and Xabi Alonso is the perfect man for that job. One of those young players that they bought many moons ago was Vinicius Jr, and 2 seasons ago was amazing. Last season, his performance fell off that little bit, and now is very much in a positional battle with Rodrigo off that left side. Scores a brilliant goal today. Do you feel like he's starting to reassert himself to being the Vinicius Jr in this team again?
I hold my hand up and I will say that I was critiquing him as much as I possibly could, and Vinicius Jr probably deserved it as well. As he was in this battle with Kylian Mbappé last season, I felt it almost as if he was feeling pressure of Mbappe's presence inside that locker room. The debate on who was taking penalty kicks, who's going to be the big player, the main player, the most talked about player. I don't think Vinicius Jr wanted to hand over that crown to Kylian Mbappé, therefore the battle was commencing. And we saw a little bit of dip in form from obviously Vinicius Jr. But he's still Vinicius Jr, and he's still got that potential to be even better than what we've already seen and how successful he's been. The goal he scored against Levante was outstanding. In the outside of the boot, I mentioned it during the highlights that not many players would even try that. But he's been involved in 8 goals in 13 games for Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid across all competitions. That is already telling us he's a big part of what they're trying to achieve. And I think now he's satisfied, not settled, but satisfied that Kylian Mbappé is the man. And you got to try and feed Kylian Mbappé as much as you possibly can. And Vinicius Jr is saying, hey, you know what, nowadays, I understand my role in this team. If he can be that player, there's a big future for Vinny Jr at Real Madrid. If he's willing to accept second best and being a team player, I think he's a real important and can be so crucial to their success across multiple competitions because he's still got that world-class quality about him. He's a brilliant player, man.
And getting the reward as well for his performances and his sort of unselfishness, I think, at times, in getting that goal today. Another young player that's coming through, you mentioned the average age, Franco Mastantuono, getting his first goal for the football club. And you were talking about how important it is for him to get off the mark and get a goal. This is a player who, in the Spanish papers, they're writing, ya no es promeso, es el presente. He is no longer promise, he is the present for this team and scoring goals already. Remarkable for a kid, a teenager, to come into this team, hit the ground running as a starter, and now getting in the goals.
Well, having to be patient waiting for this move, obviously, from River, I'm sure was a little frustrating. Always want to go to Real Madrid as early as possible, but be careful what you wish for. We've seen what's happened to other players who have recently arrived from South America and struggled with the weight of that jersey. Mastantuono, and I love that headline. Please say it one more time for me.
Ya no es promeso, es presente, meaning he is not promise, he is present.
To me, it's perfect because it tells me that there's patience and there's understanding and recognition. They already see that he's a big key to their success now. He's 18 years old in 40 days. That's ridiculously young for someone who plays way above his years. The composure, the elegance. I mean, it obviously helps when you play 65 games for River Plate. It's not a bad bit of experience.
It's also got the physicality as well. You think sometimes for a young player, you're going to get physically overwhelmed at this level, and he does not.
Yeah, but that's the elegance I'm coming in. He's already got that physique, right? You can't compare him to an Endrick. I think you've got to say that he's a different type of player, but he's also someone who's got confidence. When you're knocked, and I mentioned it during the game today, we were watching it together, how important it was for Mastantuono to actually get a goal, to maybe feel that confidence within himself, but also to reward the supporters, to reward Xabi Alonso, and also his teammates for the team selection consistently. Xabi Alonso clearly sees something in training. He wants this kid to play. That potential is clearly there. But it's brilliant to see him finally getting that goal. He should have scored maybe prior to that, if I can get my words out today. But that was absolutely brilliant to see him get that finish with composure on the right foot this time around. But for someone who's 18 years old, plays way above his years, elegance all around, he floats around the football pitch and he wants the ball. He's got this desire to give me possession of the ball so that I can make it happen for you. One of the most exciting young players in world football right now. And I didn't really know how good he was.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
And I thought he'd be eased in as well. He's not being eased in. He was being chucked in from the start for quite a few games. Now, on the subject of players who is in from the start from every game for Real Madrid, Kylian Mbappé gets 2 more goals. It's now 9 goals in 7 games. And you start to look at that ratio, and you look at where he's going from here. And honestly, it's comparable to even Cristiano Ronaldo's first 66 games at the club. Obviously, that goals per match ratio a little bit higher in Cristiano's case. But you look at what Mbappé is doing goal-scoring-wise this season, it seems it's no longer about whose team is this going to be? You said it earlier. This is Mbappe's team, and he has to deliver game after game, and is doing so.
Yeah, he has to deliver, but I also feel like that type of pressure means that he's going to, at some time, be a little bit more selfish. Last year, I felt like he was passing a little bit too much instead of taking these selfish shots that we've seen with him, obviously in a Paris Saint-Germain jersey. I'd even go as far as to say as in a Monaco jersey, we saw that selfishness even as such a young player. But I have recognised there's a different Mbappé turning up this season, Chris. There's an Mbappé that knows that he's got to score the goals. He's got to take his opportunity, and he can't necessarily rely on the other teammates around him to do the business. He's got to be the one that really steps up for Real Madrid because he knows the pressure's all on him to basically bring that success to the football club. But he is taking shot after shot after shot after shot. Sometimes he'll miss. Sometimes I'm seeing more shots from outside the penalty area than I expected from Kylian Mbappé. But if you don't shoot, you'll never score. And his record right now, I'll go back to the previous scoreline, I still think, and I know the stats are simply telling me right now that we've got a chance of getting there, that he gets to 65 goals from the beginning of the season to the end of the World Cup for club and country. That's what I think his target should be. And it's very much realistic when you look at these types of statistics right now. The way Killy's playing right now, though, and I know there's a couple of penalty kicks in there, and he loves a penalty kick as well, but I love to see the fact that Real Madrid are actually giving him the ball now. Vinny's not taking the PKs anymore. It's now all about Mbappé. It's his team. He's the one that will lead you forward. But the other players around him, Mastantuono playing well. Obviously, you want to have Jude Bellingham back playing well. And
Goulet as well, provided him with a couple of great passes today.
How great has Xabi Alonso been for those types of guys, right?
Yes.
How great has he been the way he's handled Vinicius Jr.? Also recognising the importance of all of those players being happy around Kylian Mbappé. If you keep them all happy, Real Madrid are going to be a real dangerous team this year. I love watching them play. And I haven't said that a lot about Real Madrid over the years, and I know they've had success, but they are sexy to watch play football right now.
Yes, they're playing
Very
some great
sexy
stuff right now. 6 wins from 6 at the beginning of this La Liga campaign.